Hello, my name's Keith Janis, and I have the privilege of serving as the senior adult pastor for First St. Charles United Methodist Church. And I would like to welcome everyone today to our daily devotional. I'd like to also welcome my good friend Hoppy, who's here with me today to share an important message with everyone. We'll begin by lighting a candle, because as I light the candle and watch the flame, and set it before me during my devotional time, it reminds me that I am not there alone, that Jesus is always with me. Now, Hoppy was pretty excited this week. Something special had happened. Yesterday was payday for Hoppy's dad, which means that it was also Hoppy's payday because he receives an allowance on the day his dad gets paid. In Hoppy's family, they have a great big, huge chart which Hoppy and all of his 900 brothers and 657 sisters' names are listed on it. Hoppy and his siblings receive points for every job that they complete, and on payday they receive allowance according to the number of points that they have earned. Well, this week Hoppy had done a lot of work. He cleaned up his lily pad every day. He picked up all of his clothes. He carried out the trash 2 times, and he even took care of his little brother and sister. When Hoppy's father counted out his allowance, Hoppy had a whole handful of money. As fast as a wink, Hoppy ran to the door. He was about to head for the TPBMY store, which means the pond's best mosquito-flavored yogurt store. But his father quickly stopped him by saying, "Young man, didn't you forget something? Whenever you earn money, you must first give a portion to God." Hoppy could not believe that he had almost forgotten that. He guessed that he must have had his mind too much on getting some mosquito-flavored yogurt, because he usually never forgets to give first to God. In fact, he has a little box that he calls God's box, into which he always puts God's portion first. His father says that if you do not first give to God, you will come to the end of the week and find out that you have nothing left for God. Hoppy would not want that to happen. Besides that, Hoppy learned that if he gives first to God, he always has enough for the TPBMY store. You know, that's something Bridget and I learned many years ago when we were members of First St. Charles. We had decided to begin tithing. So we got in the habit of giving to God first at the beginning of every month. And we found out that there was always enough left for the rest of the month. The habit got truly tested when I entered the ministry. Our income was greatly reduced, but we decided to continue giving our tithe at the beginning of each month, and we have been doing so ever since. And guess what? There's always been enough left over to pay the bills. I don't think there's any magic in giving to God first. I think it's more a recalibration of the heart and mind. It changes the way you look at things. It resets your priorities. And it has become a great blessing in our lives. I've come to believe our giving can be a reflection of our spirituality. You see, as a Christian, I give not because the church needs my offering. I give out of my need to give back to God. Now let me repeat that point because I think it's really important. As a Christian, I give not because the church needs my offering. I give out of my need to give back to God. Friends, we are all stewards of God's grace. And by its very definition, a steward is someone who takes care of someone else's stuff. And as stewards, we are to share the blessings of God. Jesus said, "Freely you have received, freely give." And if we were honest with ourselves, we'd have to admit that we're all givers in one way or another. We give to ourselves, to our spouses, to our children, our friends, our pets, our jobs, our retirements, our favorite charitable organizations, our church, and others. So it seems strange that we Christians need encouragement to give when God has given us so much? Giving is not something we do, but something we are. Giving is a way of life for the Christian who understands the grace of God. Sir Winston Churchill once said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. I know it's countercultural to think of our possessions as belonging to God and that we're caretakers. And that is especially true when it comes to our money. J. Oswald Sanders once said that the basic question is not how much of our money we should give to God, but how much of God's money we should keep for ourselves. And although stewardship is so much more than giving money, we still can't discount the importance of how we handle the financial blessings we've received. A mother wanted to teach her daughter a moral lesson. She gave the little girl a quarter and $1 for church. Put whichever one you want in the collection plate and keep the other for yourselves, she told the girl. When they were leaving the church, the mother asked her daughter which amount she had given. "Well," said the little girl, "I was going to give the $1, but just before the collection, the preacher said that we should all be cheerful givers. I knew I'd be a lot more cheerful if I gave the quarter, so I did." Now, that mother may not have agreed with her daughter's reasoning, but at the heart of the matter is this fact: the daughter gave in the way she believed. So the question I have for us today is this: does your giving reflect the way you believe? Would you pray with me? Gracious God, we know that you have blessed us with so much in our lives. We know that all that we are and all that we have is yours. Help us to remember that we are just stewards of your grace. Give us the courage to act upon that in a Christian way, to give of ourselves and of our hearts so that others might be blessed too. And we ask all this in your name. Amen.